52-year-old Dan Peterson says after Mary died, he fell into a deep depression.
What were you living for?
I was trying to figure that out, frankly.
Were you just waiting to die?
Yeah.
For 6 months, it was just that bad.
And then one day you go to a grocery store. But that's when this unapproachable man was approached by a 4-year-old girl named Nora Wood.
In the security footage, you can see Nora randomly reaching out to him and then had the audacity to demand a hug.
I said, a hug? I said, absolutely. This is the first time for quite a while that I've been as happy.
After that, Dan's grin only got wider.
Hi, sweetheart. Come in. Come in.
Nora started visiting once a week.
So how's my sweetie, huh?
And every time, it was the grocery store all over again.
She opened me to a love that I didn't know existed.
Dan died back in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were at the funeral, front and center. And I know how hard it is to lose somebody. But in the 4 years since, when you look back, what do you think of when you think of him?
I like to think about it in like a happy perspective.
Why do you think that story touched really the world as much as it did?
Because I think that everyone just wanted a hug.
Old people are the greatest. They're full of wisdom and experience.
Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. It was in January.
That turn, that turn blonde in the sun.
When they gaze upon Yosemites,
shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam, Thailand and Vietnam.
Israeli influence in our politics here in the United States of America?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not a politician in political office, so I don't see much.
Man, when I walked outside this morning and smelled that fresh summer air, I realized something, man. I figured out that today, I'm gonna have one of the best days of my life, brother. Somebody cuts me off in traffic, they must be on a grand adventure, man. Somebody's rude to me in the grocery store, that shit gets me giggling. I can't believe some folks really go through life like that, brother. Nobody can upset you without your consent, man. Get excited about things. You don't gotta pick and choose, only getting excited about happy stuff. You can make anything fun, brother. That's what living life is all about in the land of the free, baby. If it works out today, maybe do it tomorrow, maybe even the next day, man. Life's all about having a good-ass day.
Ain't that messy? Okay.
The black lemurs of Madagascar like to get high. They capture large red millipedes and gently bite them. This stimulates the millipedes to produce secretions, such as cyanide and benzoquinone, in self-defense. the lemurs salivate. They then rub the millipede secretions and their own infused saliva all over their fur. The lemurs receive pleasurable psychoactive effects. This is the lemur equivalent of taking a bong hit. The secretions also act as an insecticide. Both the males and the lighter-colored females enjoy getting high. By the time they've had their fill, they look a little worse for wear.
Center agrees. Huge 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. Anomalies here, much warmer than average in the west, much cooler than average right there in the central U.S., and then, a little bit warmer on the eastern side.
Northern California, we've got a bit of an unusual situation. Now, this first portion of the radar cycle, fairly bland and typical, but then you see these bands of very distinct cloud cover moving into the region. That is not rain, that is not snow, believe it or not. Military aircraft flying through the region dropping chaff. Small bits of aluminum, sometimes it's made of plastic, or even metallicized paper products, but it's used as an anti-radar issue, and obviously they're up there practicing. Now, they won't confirm that, but I was in the Marine Corps for many years, and I'll tell you right now, that's what it is. 50 in Medford right now, 48 in Wairika, 42 in Klamath Falls. Forecast for tonight.
Here's how I bake over 100 loaves of sourdough bread for the farmer's market in my regular single wall oven. Not only can I bake 4 loaves of bread at the same time, they also bake quicker than if I were to use a Dutch oven. It may look easy to do an open bake, but the problem is it can be super tricky to keep enough steam inside the oven. And steam is crucial when baking sourdough bread because it prevents the crust from hardening too soon and allows the loaf to rise fully. After lots of trial and error, I finally found the method that lets me bake beautiful loaves every single time. The step-by-step instructions are detailed in the description below. Hope this is helpful to you, too.
Did you know that if you add 3 boiled eggs to a blender along with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, 1/3 cup of water, half a teaspoon of pepper and salt to taste and blend it well, you would have made yourself a creamy, high-protein, low-oil mayonnaise that's not just easy to make, but it tastes incredibly delicious.
Sumac is in season. Well, it's pretty much always in season, but the cones are really fresh right now. And they're super sour.
There are a lot of different kinds of sumac, but there are 3 common ones here in the United States. The little berries are called drupes. The fuzzy ones are staghorn sumac. This one is smooth sumac. It looks very similar to staghorn sumac, except it's not fuzzy. This is shining or winged sumac. This is the easiest one to tell apart because of that extra little flare on the leaves. The drupes are a lighter color and less densely packed.
I'm making seasoning with this. The cone is made up of a bunch of little cones. I'm just breaking off the little cones and then I'm going to dehydrate them. Now that it's dry, I'm going to remove the stem.
I'm going to put the dehydrated berries into a blender. Then you just have to blend it up and sift out the seeds. And the end result is this fine red powder that is fantastic on hummus. You can use it in sweet or savory recipes. It's kind of like sour coating that you'd find on sour candy, but with a little bit of berry flavor.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell no, to the no, no, no.
Of tacos, burritos, and nachos. Americans just love them.
Why not have something that tastes good?
Well, a nonprofit consumer group today served up its answer, labeling Mexican food as some of the worst when it comes to fat and calories.
What we found was pretty grim.
Some Mexican food fans just can't believe it.
I would think that with all the beans and the vegetables and things that it's got to be pretty good for you.
A chile relleno platter has as much fat as 11 glazed donuts. A beef chimichanga platter, 10 donuts. Even a taco salad contains the fat found in 8 glazed donuts.
I'd like a taco salad.
But some skeptics like their Mexican fare just the way it is.
How much fat could be in a margarita?
But people continue to eat what they want.
Don't put Dad into an expensive assisted living home. Instead, do this. Hey, I quit my job. Why'd you do that? Don't you have bills to pay? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm gonna get paid to take care of my elderly dad. Who's paying you for that? The government. How much will you be making? $72,000 a year. Wait, what? Please explain. So first you gotta know the average cost of an assisted living home is roughly $60,000 a year. Expensive, right? So the government came up with another option called the Consumer Directed Personal Assistance Program, aka CDPAP. How does that work? It allows Dad to hire the caregiver of his choice. You can hire a family member? Yep. But does the pay vary? Depends on the state. Like New York, you can make $72,000 a year, but the average salary is more around $42,000. Wow, this is good to know. Where'd you learn this? Just follow Sam and you should too.
Rock and roll, the way you play.